Hi. Sorry about the.
Hold up. Hold up. It ain't over. It's not over. The party's not over.
It ain't over. Spring football update with your girl, Posh_Clevelander, a Bougie Sports production. Check us out on YouTube and on X every Tuesday. It ain't over. Spring football update with your girl, Posh_Clevelander, a Bougie Sports production. Check us out on YouTube and on X every Tuesday.
Hi. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to thank my guest again for his patience. We had some technical difficulties, but we are here. You are there. We are all together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is UFL Spring Kickoff Week. Well, maybe. Breaking news right when I was getting ready to try to go on air. But first, let's get right into it. We want to first shout out our sponsors, Fast Draft app. Download that Fast Draft app and use code word Bougie. $50 for match play. Go ahead and use that Fast Draft app. It's exciting time. Use that code word Bougie for $50 match play. And definitely you're going to subscribe to bougiesports.net. Follow us on all your social medias and our newest handle, Bougie Sports Squad. Be sure to square that. We want to share that. We want to get that all around. Without further ado, I want to shout out the most patient gentleman in the world. I am blessed to still have with me the awesome Mr. San Antonio Brahma Bullpen. He joins us from the United Football Media. Be sure to follow them at the _UFM. Be sure to follow them. We had breaking news. I want to have you introduce yourself and let's just get right into it.
Well, thanks for having me on. I will start off by saying that I have technical difficulties every episode we do, so I completely understand. But thanks for having us. Yeah, I'm one of the content creators for United Football Media. I cover specifically alternative football here in San Antonio, Texas. So the San Antonio Brahmas and UFL is one of my primary go-tos. But yeah, I'm glad you having us on. It's nice to do a little collaboration, and it's just crazy some of the news that broke right when we're loading, getting in the loading screen, so to speak.
Oh my goodness. Yes, every time I do an episode, that's when I think the UFL knows, okay, let's do something. So she'll have to add it and throw out the drawing board. But let's get right into it. Before the start of our broadcast, the most controversial thing we were going to talk about was coaches leaving. Reggie Barlow leaving last week, and Kevin Wiesenhunt, Skip Wiesenhunt leaving yesterday. That was the most controversial thing. But then today happened. To me as a nurse, two players on my precious Battlehawks being dehydrated, Frank Darby and Jawan Boothshaw Betty being dehydrated. And I had a heart attack yesterday when the injury report came out about Hakeem Butler having left hamstring injury. We know that kickoff is this week, Friday. Get your popcorn ready for the spring football update. However, let's go right into it. I'm glad I have him here. I'm still growing. His team is going to delve into it and check their sources. Let's talk about the article that dropped right exactly 8:46 p.m. Eastern time today.
Yeah, so Kevin Seifert with ESPN's the one that's breaking the news. UFM is using him actually as the source, which he is the source, and we're just kind of quoting what he's saying. But one of the players, Kaianuka, he's been involved with spring football for a few years now. He's very well known football family. Coming out and saying that the players want to talk and they feel like they're not being heard by management, and it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Kickoff is Friday, and it's not just him. There's other players on the same page with him. And one thing we'll say is trying to be a neutral bystander. We really don't want to take sides. All we know is we as creators, as fans, and as supporters of football, we want the league to succeed. We want the players to succeed, and we want football in the spring to succeed in general. So hopefully they can get these things worked out. And I think it'd be like any other topic. There's going to be some people that have a viewpoint in one direction, and there's some people that have a viewpoint in another direction, and they're probably on the same team and in the same administrative office, if you know what I'm saying. So I think just as long as cooler heads can prevail and we can get somewhere, I do know that a lot of the players want to play, but I also do know that a lot of the players have some priorities in their life, and football is one of them, but so is taking care of their families and taking care of their bodies. So it's all very important things that they need to iron out. And a growing league that hasn't had 100 years to figure it out like the NFL has, right? So we just got to hang on for the ride.
And exactly. And for those of you that follow social media closely, I haven't confirmed this. The story of when Coach Becht hurt himself. This was quoted. Did you hear about that? He told the team that he had a 0% cost. Did you hear about that?
I don't know anything about it. I saw some funny memes about it, but that's about as far as I got into that one.
Yeah. So he told the team, I have no cost, but he thought that everything had been resolved legally, and it hadn't, allegedly. And so we need to consider both sides, because as a nurse, I feel like if the players have the health care and they need, they will push that extra yard. You know what I mean? If you know you've got the support of the team. It's a game of chicken. It really is, because everyone wants to play to earn their money, and they know that the UFL is smelling money too. Even though I do hear that they are expecting lower ticket sales. But it really is a game of chicken. They're trying to see who is going to blink first on Friday.
Yeah, if I had to just guess right now, I think we're going to play ball. I think cooler heads will prevail. But I do also think negotiations are going to be ongoing. I don't think this story is going to be concluded by Friday. I don't even think it's going to be concluded throughout the season, and I think it's going to pop up a few more times before we get through it, and then we'll see what happens in the off season. But those things could be complex. Those negotiations could be complex, and every major sports league in the USA that I know of have gone through it at some point. Whether it's baseball, basketball, WNBA is talking about it right now. So the UFL is no different, and I guess we should all take a little comfort in that, knowing that all these other leagues have been able to work its way through it. Hopefully the UFL can too. I think the biggest difference is how young the league is, and hopefully they can come to an understanding.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important for us as UFL promoters, podcaster, to, even though people will say things for clicks and things like that, I think we want to be careful with if false information or whatever, just to get that quick clickbait money. Because what if a player receives it? You know what I mean? And that could distort talks, and that can ruin, or the UFL owners perceive it. It could set back the talks they have. I'm quoting from an article in case you guys were working, or there's a Cavs game going on. All options are on the table. Michigan Panthers safety Kai Nakua said, we need to talk as players, all of us players as a union, still quoting. We need to sit down and we need to have that talk, but we meet a couple of times a week. I know guys are getting ready for the first game, so we'll find a time that everyone has time to meet. That's got to be hard. It's hard for me when I'm trying to work and my mind was on, burying my grandmother and still wanting to be there for my significant other and things like that. Imagine these guys. Have you ever played football and had your mind divided like this, or how do you
Well,
doing?
I never played football for money, so my perspective is completely different. Although we all played when we were kids growing up and all that, and Pee Wee and all that. But I have actually been part of a strike of sorts before in a company I used to work for, and I do know that there's always two sides to every coin. So it just depends on what side of the coin you land on, and everything that I've ever been part of has always worked its way out. But it's always seemed to be better once it's done. Once you come to a resolution everybody can agree on, it always seems like there's going to be a big boost of support and morale on both sides. And as long as both sides can deliver what they promised to deliver in order to receive whatever they negotiated for, it's going to work out great. And ultimately, in the end, the fans are the ones that will hopefully win by the league continuing and starting to strive. And one perspective is if the players feel like the league is making money, that's a good thing, because then theoretically the league is making money. And if the league, as the article you're quoting, the UFL did put out a statement last week, which is the only statement they put out, that they are negotiating in good faith with the players according to the league. So, if that's true and that's happening, which we all hope it is, then I think they'll come to a resolution eventually, and we'll all win for it.
Okay. Transitioning a little bit here. So as you know, closer to the kickoff weekend this Friday with the Battlehawks at Houston Roughnecks, the rollout of marketing has intensified. Today, Daryl Johnston, the president, he was on Fox and Friends and different Fox programming, because as you know, guys, Fox owns 50% or so of the UFL product, and so they're increasing the marketing. And let's take a moment and talk about. We've got some slides here of the San Antonio Brahmas, how they're reaching out to the fan base and promoting it. First, set it up for us.
Yeah, so the Brahmas team down here in the San Antonio area, some of the actual team admin and staff are actually local. We do operate in a hub model, but some of the staff does stay down here in San Antonio, and they orchestrated a nice event down. We have what we consider our historical downtown type district. Every city's got those little party spots. So we have a party spot down here called the Pearl Brewery that's been around for a long time. Interesting enough, my wife's grandfather retired from the Pearl Brewery, so it's been part of her family for a very long time. It's not functioning anymore, but it's a redeveloped artsy bar and restaurant type district. And so they had the Brahmas fan event right in the middle of it, which also exposed a lot of non-Brahmas football fans to Brahmas football and the fans that were there for football. So it was a great time. We had a great turnout, a lot of hype. We had 4 players come down, as well as the general manager, Mark Lingenbaugh, was there. And we had Savion Patton, Greg Ward Jr., our QB1, Kellen Mond, was there. And Devontae Beckett, one of the top 2 or 3 linebackers in the league, in my humble opinion, maybe number 1 linebacker in the league.
Let's get into the slides now.
The coolest thing that I saw down there was the players' willingness to interact with the fan. They stood there and talked to everybody that wanted to talk to them, sign an autograph that everybody wanted signed. And I feel like the event was only supposed to last maybe 30 minutes. They had a stage set up. They come in, did their intros, did a little talking. But the players started talking and signing autographs before the event, and then they stayed long after the event. And it was almost like they weren't leaving as long as there was someone in line to meet them. So it was truly a remarkable event with a great turnout. You got stuff for the kids throwing footballs and everything. We had to kick some. They had to kick some adults out of that thing. They were just having a good time throwing the ball in there. But you could just see the fans down there. Just look at that place. Isn't it? That's like an 85-degree and breezy day right there. Just beautiful.
Beautiful. Let's me go back here. Let's keep it right here. So we've got Kellen Mond right there, and let's stop right there. Kellen Mond, former quarterback of the Browns. I heard that, first of all, he's a cutie patootie, okay? But I hear that he really made some progress coming out of the camp. There are a lot of talk around him, and he's got me concerned about my Battlehawks. Are we ready? Because we won't even commit to one QB1. Battlehawks haven't even committed to one quarter-one. Let's talk about Kellen Mond for a second here.
So I'll hit all the points real quick. San Antonio guy, grew up here in San Antonio, went to Reagan High School here. His wife also is a San Antonio native, ran track over at Judson, so that's cool. He was recruited and played football at Texas A&M, which is about 3 hours north of San Antonio, and he's the all-time leading passer in Texas A&M history. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Vikings, so he is an athlete. What I like about Kellen's game is he's got a great arm, he's accurate, and he only runs when he has to. So he's a quarterback, but he's got the wheels if he needs to use them, and I think he knows when to use them.
Yeah, quarterback, that's judgment. That's good judgment you want to have. You want him, that's going to keep him healthy a long time. I'm a little shaken. I'm a little shaken as a Battlehawks girl. What else about Kelly?
Well, you guys got a good defense. You got old Mike Rose up there. I think he could keep up with him. But one of the things that set him apart, according to Wade Phillips and a couple of interviews we've seen, specifically on Mond and getting the QB1 nod, Hogan and Garrett Tarantano, who are both our other two quarterbacks on our roster, they all did really well passing. So that slight edge of mobility, according to Wade Phillips and some of the interviews, is what gave him that QB1 nod. So that's an advantage.
I'm happy to have Wade Phillips. I'm really happy to have Wade Phillips here with it. Really happy to have Wade Phillips here as the coach for the Brahmas. That's going to help them really well. Help them really well. Now let's talk for a second here. I was shocked to learn. I was looking at Bottom Line. Shout out to Bottom Line podcast. Your first 3 games are away. What is the fan base doing? And first of all, what is the fan base doing to still keep that cohesion going on with your first 3 games? The first Brahmas games are away. Second of all, what do you think what do you think is being said in the locker room to the men about that?
Well, I can speak on a lot of that, actually. So the first 4 games are actually away. There's good reason. San Antonio and the Alamo Dome are hosting the Final Four, March Madness. So that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So that's the first couple of weeks. They're putting a basketball arena in there, and that's a huge event, nationwide, and tons of tourists and stuff. So San Antonio definitely made that decision. And then the Disney on Ice is coming after that. So we got the Final Four and the Disney on Ice. So we got a few weeks where they got to put a basketball stadium down in there, take that out, put a couple of skating rinks. It's not just one skating rink. Alamo Dome is one of the few facilities that actually can have 3 or 4 different skating rinks in there all at one time, the way it's set up.
Okay, let me get this straight. Okay, the Alamo Dome can facilitate a football game, ice skating,
basketball, monster trucks, everything. They do it all.
I want to have one of the workers on. Yeah. Do you know anybody that works there?
You know what? I might know someone. I know someone that definitely does security there.
Just a day in their life of if they can videotape. How do they transition? Yeah, that is crazy. I would love to interview them. Oh my gosh.
So
Oh my gosh. So that's why you said the first 4 games, not 3, but
mhm.
4.
Yes, ma'am. And I
Okay.
was able to talk to some of the players about the road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. They look at it as like as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They look at it as a challenge. They see that what they need to do is go handle business on the road, so that when we do come back to San Antonio, the team is looking good, competitive. We they want to come back 4-0. We don't know if they will, but we're definitely going to pull for that. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing
Mm-hmm.
is, in San Antonio's history with our Spurs as our other pro team, they have a rodeo road trip every year where their basketball arena gets shut down and turned into one of the biggest indoor rodeos
Mm-hmm.
in the state, maybe the country. And so they have an extended road trip, and that's always where the Spurs players have taken the time to gel, become one as a team, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
deal. But the last point I'll make on the road trip, every game at this point, except for the Arlington team, is a road trip for that team. They're
Mm-hmm.
all traveling from Arlington, going to the cities they play in, and then traveling back. So it's not as big of a disadvantage with the travel. It's the crowd noise will be the biggest disadvantage, but these guys are pros, so I don't think they're
These are
worried
guys
about
in
it too
person.
much.
Okay. Okay. And adversity builds character. I remember my Steelers, another black and yellow team, they had a perfect season. And then when it came time for playoffs, it kind of fell apart. This may help them,
Yeah.
in the playoffs. Adversity really is a cliche, but it really does build character. We've got a comment here. Get someone from the conversion crew. Uh, does he mean from
Yeah.
the Panthers?
No, he's talking about the crew that converts from basketball to football to the ice skating rink. So yeah, that'd be an interesting person to talk to. We'll see what we can do. We'll stay in touch.
Yes, thank you. I would love to anytime this season. Yes, I love because that is my goal this season. I wanted to have throughout spread the word. I want to have fans show me their photos, their videos, their tailgating stories. My fellow diva, bougie sports diva at Brown's Fans Girl. She has a great show. It's on hiatus right now, but it focuses more on being a Browns fan. And so I wanted to draw, learning from learning from my team of bougie sports ladies here. I learned from her to get that backstory, with sports because they really are they're more than football. So I definitely want to throughout the whole season, I'm going to be reminding people your videos, your tailgates, your pictures, things like that, that creates that story for UFL football. And the UFL team, the marketing team is trying to, their rollout was to make it more of a community, rollout. We wanted to make it more of a community. We're almost at the halfway mark. I want to shout out, first of all, I want to shout out our sponsor, Fast Draft app. Download the Fast Draft app. Use code word bougie for $50 for match play, for $50 deposit. But I'm grateful for San Antonio Brahma Bullpen being here. I'm going to give you a chance to shout out your sponsor because they support you and what you do in your tailgating, I think, too. Go ahead and shout out Banger Fireworks.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're sponsored by Bangers Fireworks. If you're in the San Antonio area, or even if you're down here during the New Year's or 4th of July time of the year, they do sponsor us. They also basically pay for all of our tailgating and all the football fun. Even when I travel to games, that's where all that's kind of funded through. So we really appreciate them. They got 3 great locations here in San Antonio. They have the best fireworks for the best price. Cheap prices, but not cheap fireworks. So come see us, and we're on Facebook. Look up Bangers Fireworks. Just type in Bangers Fireworks, San Antonio, Texas, and you'll find us there. We give away tons of free fireworks. They give away tons of free fireworks every year too. So Brahmas fans, if you're watching this, and I'll even go on a limb and say St. Louis Battlehawk fans, if you're watching this, you show up in any UFL gear to any Bangers location, you'll get 20% off right off the rip.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I will be sure to retweet that. I will definitely retweet that and go ahead and repeat that. You said any UFL gear, no matter
Any
the
UFL
team,
gear,
no
you
matter
can
the
show
team,
up
20% off.
20% off.
All righty. So we're thankful. We're thankful for Bangers Fireworks. We're thankful for Fast Draft app, Best Ball Draft for big money, $50 deposit. Thank you. Thank you, Lysandra. I got Lysandra behind the scenes here. Thank you. Lysandra's helping me behind the scenes.
There you
So
go.
let's get into this weekend that hopefully happens.
It's
You
happening.
shared with us your picks. You're sure of it. You shared with us your predictions for the week. Go ahead and put that up, Sandra. You shared with us your predictions for the week. You've got let's
I'm gonna
see here, and
apologize right off the
Sandra
bat.
is the one that is our guru for drafts and picks and things like that. I will probably say it wrong, like -6 under over easy. I'm a
Yeah.
Pollyanna when it comes to that. But go ahead and tell us about this slide.
So I'm gonna apologize right off the bat to the St. Louis fans watching this. I'm sorry, but our VP of content over here at United Football Media Ace covers the Houston Roughnecks, and we talk a lot. We talk a lot on the side, and he has just convinced me that Houston's making this huge turnaround this year. So I apologize. I'm taking the upset win Friday night. Let's just start the season off right and cover the 6-point spread and get the win. So I'm sorry. I'm not trying to start anything, but yeah. So he's really convinced me that defense and that offense is going to take a drastic step forward this year. As far as the showboats,
Boo. Come
when I made
on,
this
come
pick,
on.
yeah, sorry. When I made this pick on the showboats to beat the Michigan, that was before the head coach stepped away. So I might take it back, but I'd already publicized it, so I'm gonna ride or die with it. And then Birmingham over DC, that's a no brainer. 3-time champs, best team in the league. You can't go wrong there. So
Okay. Uh-huh. And I'm worried because yeah, my Hakeem the Dream Butler left hamstring. I was hysterical
yeah.
tweeting last night, and my son basically told me get off my phone, put down my phone. But yeah, is his left hamstring? I'm a little bit worried here. But for them to cut Andy Isabella, I didn't even get into the cut day things because there was so much going on. For them to cut Andy Isabella, whatever wide receivers left, I need them to ball out because you cut Andy Isabella. I wonder what was Andy doing in camp for you to cut? That was shocking. I loved James Larson, PF9, that morning
Mhm.
was like, okay, he tried to prepare us. Do you remember this? He said, okay, everyone's going to be surprised about who gets cut. And he tried, it was like he was the doctor in the waiting room as a nurse, the doctor and the talking, just, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know. And we were like, what? Eddie Isabella? And then, oh yeah, we find out Daewoo Davis wasn't even at camp the
Yeah,
whole time.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was shocking. Oh my, when James Larson, PFN, be sure to give him a follow, revealed that. I'm like, what? So I guess it
Uh,
was a health issue.
yeah, he's definitely
I
fighting
think it
through
was health
something, and they
issue.
wanted to save a spot for him. If you go on injured reserve, you have to sit out a minimum number of weeks. I believe it's 4 weeks, maybe 5, but it's a minimum number of weeks. So sometimes they'll cut a player knowing that maybe he'll be back in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever, 3 weeks, and they get that extra week back. So they don't want to put him on IR because they want to bring him back right when he's ready to play. That's kind of
Exactly.
the theory going around. We'll see if it comes to fruition.
Like Daewoo Davis wasn't. They kept that under wraps. I'm
Oh yeah.
like, they kept that secret, man. And they did not leak that one at all. They did not leak that one at all. Uh, let's move on to your predictions for wins. I think you got those. Yeah.
So yeah, so for the Brahmas game, we'll actually do scores. I just pick wins and loss on the other teams. So this is myself. I'm on the left, right there on one side of the bullpen. Producer's the other gentleman that's on the show with me. He's been doing the show
Mhm,
with me since we started. So
mhm,
we like to pick scores. I went 30-17 Brahmas. I really do think the offense can take a drastic step forward with Kellen Mond.
mhm,
And then also we kind of our wide receiver core altogether. If we were to take 4 wide
mhm.
receivers off every team, I don't think there's another team that's as deep as the Brahmas. And then that offense we run. our defense is going to be great too. But Luis Perez is a great quarterback. They're gonna bring it. He's the go to spring football. We know it's not going to be an easy win up there. And then producer went 20-10. He's a little bit more reserved than me when it comes to scores. I want to have fun. I want to see the ball flying all over the place. So I went a little bit higher. But I think the Brahmas are going to. We beat Arlington and Luis Perez last year twice, and I think our team has improved, especially at the quarterback position. So I think we should be able to do it again this year.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Mm-hmm. And so the thing concern I have, okay, they're all in Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you not hide your plays? Because don't you all practice in the same field? I guess that's the Browns girl in me, suspicious of everything and everyone. But how do you not, like, if you got Wade on the field with his team and he wants to go over a play, will he not do that out in the middle of the field? Because there's like windows all around. There could be a camera all around. Spygate, you know what I mean? What can't the other team see what you're doing? I mean, how do you, if I ever get a chance to ask a player or a coach, how do you not, hide your plays?
Well, one, they don't show everything they got at every practice or scrimmage. And they do practice on separate fields. So they don't all practice inside Arlington Stadium. They do have local high school fields that they lease around. The Brahmas actually practice at a field out in Weatherford, Texas, which is a little bit outside Arlington. And then they have different meeting rooms inside the building. So they're not always together, but all the players know each other so well. It's a little bit different than the NFL, right? Because these guys are all in the same facility, so they do bump into each other a lot. So, and then, guys like to talk trash too. So, they're talking about, something here and there. So stuff does slip, but then, in the scrimmage tape. So they had a scrimmage where they had teams play against other teams in scrimmage. I'm going to tell you right now that the coaches don't show everything in those scrimmages. They don't want if you're the Brahmas practice against Michigan, you're going to have to play them this season, and they're not showing them everything. There's no way they're showing them everything. It's a lot of strategy, but once you get later on in the season, you got to add some wrinkles up in there too, because everyone gets tape and watches film. That's one of the big things about football, right? So try to guess what the other team's going to do before they do it.
Yes, and that's the challenge. Like my Browns may be picked with Russ. We're going to go ahead and mention this. Russ is now a Giant. Stephon Diggs is now on the Patriots. That broke while we were getting ready for this program today. Browns might be looking at Shador or trading down. Shador is magic, but what happens fourth week when they got film on you? How does players have to adapt? Players have to adapt. You got to adapt. Hakeem, you got to get, Hakeem, Daewoo, you're going to have to get some separation. They're going to double team you. How do players know? You got to come up with different ways to solve for X. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is the challenge. Challenge.
Yeah. Sometimes it's lineup too. Sometimes it's try to get the slot guy being covered by a safety or a linebacker based upon position, lineup, and numbers. So they'll do a lot of things. It'll get tricky. It'll get tricky for sure. And don't forget, you guys got Shakur Pearson there, who was a superstar when he played for the XFL team in Seattle and didn't really have a full season last year with you guys up there in St. Louis. But that guy's scary, scary good. And if you watch any of his highlights video, that guy stays in shape year round, and he's always putting in work. So I think you guys, you obviously want Butler back as soon as possible, but I think you guys got some talent up there, and don't forget about Sailors. You guys got a strong running game. So
Sailors, we got Sailors. Yeah.
Gonna be a good year, I think. For St. Louis.
Shakur Peterson, is he a running back or a wide receiver?
He's a wide receiver. He'll play a lot of the slide. He's a real shifty, fast guy. Yeah, I think in my opinion, I think his greatest skills are probably route running and strong hands, and those are two important things for a wide receiver. He can run a route. Let me tell you, can find those little holes in the zone.
So the concern with my Battlehawks is if we're still trying to evaluate two quarterbacks, he doesn't feel confident choosing. Now, is he not choosing one just to keep the other team on edge? Is he playing mind? Is Coach Ant playing mind games? Not trying to name a QB1. I don't know, but these quarterbacks are going to need like 4.9. I mean, I want to know. I want to make sure our the O-line is working, because there were some times AJ McCarron did not have time. I was at the game and I was like, and I'm growing, and I'm growing, and I'm actually counting his pocket time at the game, and it was like nil. So I can't have that with quarterbacks that are growing. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I think we all do that. And then we make faces right before they get hit, right? You start, oh no, look out.
Mm-hmm. So to almost wrap up here, because I did keep you longer than I expected with the technical difficulties here. What is the name of your fan base? What is the name of your fan base? A couple more questions. What is the name of your fan base? And when you guys travel, what is your name? Like on Showboats, they have the Yacht Club. What is it Horns Down? What is the name of your club?
So we have Facebook groups, and it's Horns Forward is our saying. We don't. So we really Horns Forward. We do Horns Forward, and we don't really have like a named fan group, so to speak. But we definitely do have some podcasts in the area that have their followings, and then we all kind of work together. We really get along really well down here in San Antonio. Everybody's super nice to each other. It's like a big city with a small town feel. So we got the guys over at Horns Forward Podcast. Of course, us here on the Bullpen, United Football Media. And then there's another podcast. I'm just going to shout them out because they're some of the nicest people down here, called the Smoking Guns Podcast. RC and Leo and Higginbotham over there. They do a great job down here. They're awesome. We love them down here. And then pretty much that's the whole how the community started. And now you just have all these fans just kind of hang out together. I haven't really seen a de facto name for them, but definitely Horns Forward's our slogan. And we got those super fans that wear all that crazy yellow and horns. And I mean, you've seen them on TV. They're every team's got these crazy fans. And then of course
I saw a female fan.
We got the guy in the sombrero always running around. Jorge, he's a cool dude. Love him. He's always got a big group with him, and people love taking pictures with him. The mariachi, I don't exactly know what he calls himself, but down here in San Antonio, mariachis are big. They show up at every Mexican restaurant, quinceañera, and wedding down here, and people love them. They're awesome, and it's a great culture. We're having the fiesta theme here in San Antonio for one of the games, so there'll be a lot of that going on. But Horns Forward, and our fans are just awesome.
And finally, this is going to be my first football season. Like I tweeted, I have to watch the games analytically. I can't be the screamy fan girl screaming over Hakeem getting open for 40 yards. I've got my roster grids ready with anticipated stats and things like that. We've got the schedule coming up here. Battlehawks Friday, Brahmas on Saturday. You're the only game on Saturday. That's to hopefully get all eyes on Brahmas. Okay.
That'd be nice.
Eyes on Brahmas, and then 2 games this Sunday. So guys, fellas, women, to get your popcorn ready this weekend. First of all, do honey-do list starts now. This is the time. Football is back. Real football is back. Is this your first time experiencing it? It is real football. It is real football. So this is going to be my first season, though. I don't want to be screaming over Hakeem. I want to be able to. I want to look at that old line. Because I want to give the best to my viewers. I've already told my viewers I'm not going to be, East Coast, West Coast offense, but I have had success at knowing how to prepare and game plan. I call it using nursing process to game plan. But what would you suggest I do when viewing so that I view it? I can't just look at the wide receiver getting open. I need to look at the O lineman. What would you suggest as you become an analyst of the game?
Man, that's a great question.
Not
So,
a screaming girly fangirl screaming.
well,
You know.
first of all fan types are totally welcome in the bullpen and in UFL stadium. So do what makes you feel good. Second of all, everything starts from the inside out. So the first thing that I like to look at, and I would suggest, is giving some love to the big men down in the trenches, the O line and the D line guys, because if
Amen.
you got to have those guys. If the D line's winning, you're a Cleveland Browns fan. You know, you got old Myles Garrett up there, just got a big payday. That guy can disrupt a game all by himself. There'll be tons of talent like that in the UFL. Then the other thing is, you know, everybody likes the skill players, but, you know, defense. In a league like the UFL, defense is extremely important, and they always seem to be a little step ahead of the offense, especially when the season's first kicking off, because these guys are not together. These guys are not together all off season. So start watching the defense and keep an eye on those safeties, cornerbacks, and linebackers, and see what they're doing to disguise their pre-snap, where they're going to go once the ball comes out. They'll work on that a lot, and then, you know, just have fun. But that's how I would start going inside out and then start looking at those skills guys on the outside. The quarterback's going to get all the love anyway, so you're not going to have to do no work to see him. He's going to be on all the highlights. He's going to be on all the low lights. You're going to get all that.
I want to leave a lot of takes to you men on the bottom line, your podcast. You know, I'm not going to. I think you guys will respect me more if I don't try to speak on things that I'm not comfortable with. But so you're saying it's okay if like for week one, when I do talk about week one, April 1st, if I maybe just talk about the defense, you know, the defense per quarter of all the teams, it's okay to just take it, focus on what here.
Look, I'll tell you, I've been doing this now for 3 years, and just be yourself and like what you like, and people will come along with you. So, you know, my favorite two positions on the field are tight end and linebacker. And so I always try to focus on those guys. And then of course, the guys in trenches, like I mentioned, I've had O linemen and D linemen on my show. One of the nicest guys I ever met was Savion Patton. He plays D line for the Brahmas. He was at the fan event. Big mean guy on the field, but super nice off the field, you know, and the O linemen are always the smartest guys. So I'll throw that plug in there for the big guys.
Yeah,
do what you like. That's all I got.
In fact, I believe there should be awards. Someone, I can't think of his name. He was on the Bills. He was talking about there should be a Madden award for O linemen.
Sure.
I forgot. They were talking about that. Pierce, I think he was. I'm trying to remember his name. Antonio Pierce. I don't know. Somebody on the Bills wants to come up with an award for O linemen. I really, you know, yes, I love my Hakeem. Yes, I love my Daewoo. Yes, I love, you know, I wish I did a lot of research on Darius Victor, and I was so sad that he didn't get asked back to the Showboats. Yes, I love what they do, but they could not do it without the O linemen on their field. Anything else you want to share? We're going to wrap up here. Anything else you want to share with me?
No, I'm good. I appreciate you having me on. I'm welcome to the UFL space. Looking forward to seeing how the show progresses, and I'll be tuning in every week so I can get some insight on the St. Louis, so I can pass it on to the Brahmas teams. So, you know, don't go too analytical, because I'm going to let them know what you say.
Thank you. And in fact, you've just queued up something perfectly. I'm going to do something called Countdown to the Championship, or Countdown to St. Louis. For those of you that are maybe new coming to St. Louis, I want to make sure you're safe. I'm going to make sure you are going to be well taken care of. So I am going to occasionally have some videos telling you some good places to go, some safe places to go, that sort of thing, as we count down. I started to maybe just do it like 1 month out, but I'm thinking I'm going to do it ahead so people can plan their pocketbooks. There's one place we went to for my BF's birthday that's really, really, really good. So, and I want you to get, portions, and portions are good. So I'm definitely going to be visiting that. Any excuse to visit that restaurant again, but I'm definitely going to do a video about that. And, just the championship. It's good to have. I want you to be comfortable. I'm going to be honest. St. Louis is not the safest town. You can look at the stats, but I'm going to find some places, to keep you safe and affordable. We're all on a budget here, but I would love to have you in my town. April 26th, remember, April 26th, come to St. Louis. Why? Because in the morning, you can go to a Cardinals game and a Battlehawks game. So if you've got the money, for April 26th is the time to come for a game. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Bangers Fireworks, for supporting the Brahmas and their tailgating. Support Bangers Fireworks. Thank you, NFL, any UFL gear, 20% off. And we want to shout out Fast Draft. Thank you, Fast Draft app, for supporting your Bougie Sports girls. And for those of you who don't know, we are a group of sports-loving girls connected to Cleveland, but we love all things sports. We want to thank Fast Draft app. Use code word Bougie for $50 deposit match. We would really appreciate that. But we just love all things sports, and I cannot wait for this weekend. Players, coaches, get it together. Leadership, get it together, because I can't live without my Battlehawks. And I'm going to be unbiased. I love my Battlehawks, but I will definitely highlight the thrills and chills of the Brahmas. All 8 teams will be celebrated. Fans, share your videos, your pictures and videos, and with me, definitely. Thank you so much for your patience.
I'm going to throw
samples to all Brahmas fans to the games too.
I'm going to throw in a plug, and I apologize for not saying this sooner when I was talking about the fan groups. We have a wonderful fan group down here called the Brahma Mamas. And it's just
tell me more.
Brahma Mamas. I'm so sorry. And if they were in here, they'd punch me for not leading the episode with this.
Yeah, but they ain't like Brahma's Mamas. I believe it. Please,
they're just an awesome group of ladies down here. They're some of the crazy fanatic fans that do anything and all things Brahmas. They all dress alike, and they all wear the same hats to the games. They're super nice, and they'll go around the tailgates to give things away to people and all that. And they do have a Facebook group, the Brahma Mamas, so look that up. And if you see them,
I will definitely follow
them. They all look the same.
This video with the Brahma Mamas. Brahma Mamas. I will make sure to click this video, click the part we're talking about. Yeah, but definitely Brahma's Mom. You got to get the women in football. Football's back Friday. It's real football. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Plan your menu, plan your honey-do list. We are watching football Friday night. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wisdom. God bless United Football Medium. Follow them at @the_UFM. Shout out to my bougie girl, Diva Lysandra, behind the screen. Where I am weak, others are strong. We work together, and that makes Bougie Sports grow even stronger and better. We thank you. We love you. And I will see you April 1st. I will see you. No fooling. April 1st, I'll see you. We've got to talk about what happened this weekend. Get your own posh take on what happened over the weekend. But thank you so much. And have a safe trip. If you're traveling this weekend, safe trip back and forth back to your home. God bless America. God bless UFL. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.